You should be live, Jane. Fingers crossed. Good morning,
That's
everybody.
good.
One of those mornings, isn't it?
Yes.
We've had a busy one already. It's been really busy. But now we can stop. Now
we can be
stop.
calm and make a beautiful quilt.
Yes, a very, very beautiful quilt.
It's stunning.
Natasha has declared this as possibly her favourite quilt of all time and has decorated her lounge
Accordingly.
according to the quilt. We were originally, if anyone's tuning in this morning thinking, oh, calendar quilt, block 12. No, not today, because we did say last week that was what we got intended for today, but sometimes something so special comes along that we have to just mess with the schedule a little bit.
Yeah.
That's this.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. Next week, however, calendar quilt block should be on there.
Yes.
All things being well, and all wizardry of tech working correctly. But this is the Sanderson fabric that's come in with a bit of William Morris and a bit of Tula Pink. But it's not our mishmash, is it, Jane?
No.
Are you sneezing?
Yes, sorry.
Do you need to go off camera?
No, I'm all right now.
Moment?
I'm okay now.
A sniffly moment. It's the framed fans quilt. Let's just see. Oh, look who's on time, it says. Hello, Sue. Well done. Good morning. Your mum's around as well. She's
Morning,
always
Mum.
on time. Morning, Kate. Claire Everett's with us as well. Good morning to you too. I'm assuming we have YouTubers as well. Let's just give that a little refresh. And hopefully we've got people there too. Yes, Jane, this came in last week.
It did.
And you've skedaddled this quilt top together very quickly.
Yes. It's a nice quilt to make. There's lots of templates. The instructions are good. It's a free pattern from Free Spirit.
It is.
And it's lovely. It's just a really lovely quilt. The fabrics are gorgeous.
It is stunning.
The kit is a big kit. It's a big quilt. It's 55 by 73, I think.
It's a big boy.
It's big. Obviously, I haven't had time to quilt it, but it is lovely. You've got templates. You'll need template plastic if you haven't got any.
There we go. Good to know.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's a nice quilt, and it's deceptively. It looks really complicated, but it's quite straightforward.
Jane, you've just said a word many, many times that we get told off for using here, me and you.
Lovely.
Yeah, we've got one customer in particular. You know you are.
Yeah.
Who gets a little bit upset with us repeatedly using the word lovely, but sometimes it is the best word for the moment.
Gorgeous, fabulous, beautiful, stunning.
Right, we'll keep trying with our adjectives, we promise.
But we do channel our inner Liza Doolittle. It's lovely.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to quickly do something naughty. We never do this. It's my stepdaughter's 20th birthday today, so happy birthday, Gemma.
Happy birthday, Gemma.
Okay. Good.
That's it, 20 teen now. That's it. Your teens have gone.
I know. No
She's not a teenager anymore.
No teenager, no more. Exactly. I've only got one left.
That's enough.
That's enough. It is enough. She might be watching, actually. Let's see.
She's gorgeous.
Oh, look. All the messages in all the world, Jane. Let's share some with you. Ginny Twin says, good morning, ladies. Yvonne says, evening all. She's not from these here parts.
No.
Morning and evening to everybody. Joy says, good morning, Jane and Gemma. Pat Adams is with us as well. She says, good morning, all. Oh, Jo Standish is organised. She says, morning. Dogs walked. Time for a coffee.
Nice.
Good for you.
That's lovely, isn't it?
Belting it down by me this morning. There was no way those dogs were going out. Dachshunds and rain do not mix.
No, they don't like it, do they? No.
You've seen Susie hides under the table to get and claw her out from under the table.
Bless her.
Auntie Lizzie's with us as well. Good morning, Auntie Lizzie.
Hi, Auntie Lizzie.
Pam says it all. She says, good morning, lovelies. That quilt is simply stunning. It is.
It is.
It is. Michelle says the same. Michelle, you don't need to email me, my sweet, but thank you very much. I worked it out. Michelle was one of the people I was trying to do a bit of detective work on yesterday.
Oh, right.
Jane and I had an interesting time of it, and Jane might have sent something incorrectly, and we had to skedaddle and find it. But we found it, so that's good. But thank you very much for checking. Vicky says, good morning, I'm listening in while working. Shh, we won't tell.
We won't say anything.
Karen Hughes is with us as well.
Morning, Karen.
She says, good morning, girls, looking fab. I may owe you both an apology as I snaffled 2 bolt ends you were both hankering after. The paintbrushes and the turquoise hearts. But in the words of a very wise woman, you had your chance.
Exactly.
This is so true.
It went to a good home, Karen.
We packed that yesterday, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
You picked it, handed it to me, I check it and put it in the bag going,
Don't
But
look.
it's going to Karen and
It's
she'll
going,
do great things
yeah,
with it.
she'll make wonderful things with it. Unlike me, who would probably just put it in my stash
Exactly.
and
So
stroke it.
we did feel better about it.
Yes, it's gone to a good home.
We did. Oh, Sue Langford says, need it. Oh, lovely Sanderson says, Joy Hall. You see, it's all going on. Oh, Vicky was in said rain this morning. It was absolutely biblical.
I just missed it. As I got into the warehouse, it threw it down, which was quite nice because I didn't have to drive on the motorway in it.
That was very lucky.
Yes.
Very lucky. Even the inside of Vicky's wellies were wet.
Oh, nice.
I know, not nice. Claire Everett says, happy birthday, little Gemma. And don't worry, Gemma, they don't leave home fast. My daughter is 30 in March and still here. She lives with her mum most of the time. She's at uni and all of that. So, yeah, it's all fine. Karen's glad she didn't make us too sad. Never, Karen, because we know you'll make something. Now, funnily enough, your ears should have been burning yesterday because... Oh, it is still here. We have a Morris. This is the very beautiful Strawberry Thief in olive.
Look at it. It's so lovely.
And Natasha was very upset about the fact you weren't watching because she said, Karen needs to make a frock. We even thought about ringing Morrison's and getting them to call you over the tannoy. Then we realised we weren't sure which Morrison's store you go to, so you might not want to let that one out in case you get a tannoy message
from Natasha.
But yeah, this is the beautiful Strawberry Thief in olive. So, just saying.
Very nice.
New bolts. Oh, here
Very
we go.
nice.
Sue says, I call my youngest Elastic Lil. We had to run away from home when the oldest refused to leave. Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Yeah, Auntie Lizzie's saying what we're all thinking. Karen, do you actually have much of a long-term stash because you're so prolific in your making?
There are people out there that don't have stashes.
They just crack on and make.
They just make stuff.
Envious.
Only
Envious.
buy fabric for what they're going to make.
Sounds very virtuous.
Like,
indeed. We can't
what?
understand this. If you'd have seen James' pile of bumbleberries, it was hilarious. Lynn Marshall says hello. All from
Picked
down
my
under.
mum up from work and she said, oh, you did have all the bumbleberries there? And I said,
All
not
of
quite.
them.
Nearly.
Well, Tash came in and she laughed and went, just pulled a few then, Jane, huh? And Jane
I'd
was
stuck
like,
them on the windowsill.
Yeah.
They were like up here.
And Jane said, well, I might not take all of every bolt. And Tash went, oh my gosh, are you serious? Are those actually the ones? She was joking. But no, those are the ones Jane has pulled. Sorry, everyone.
You don't want to miss out.
Frog in the throat.
We're all a bit croaky still.
It's a beautiful thing.
I am much better than I was. Thank you so much for bearing with me last week.
Oh,
But yeah.
seriously, poorly last week. Tasha's catching you up now. I'm watching
Yes.
you both go through these phases. Whereas I'm just plastered in hives because my immune system does this beautiful thing where it won't let a cold in. It'll just cover me in a rash instead and go into overdrive.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful. Karen does says she still has quite a stash.
Yes.
This is all right then. I don't feel quite so... Oh, here we go. Who are these people you speak of not having a stash, says Claire. I feel we could chat all morning, Jane. It could
we
go on
could,
quite
yes.
a while. I should probably rein it in at some point, but I'm just having lots of fun. But yeah, fabric collecting and sewing are two very separate hobbies, Sue. You are quite right.
Yes.
Oh, look, see, she's told us. She's told us which Morrison's she's in on a Tuesday. If she ever gets a tannoy, she'll be mortified she gave that information away. Right, so today's show then, we are going to look at this beautiful quilt. Framed fans, free spirit pattern, like we say. There are a very limited number of kits, and we will show you the kits in a little while. But really, truthfully, if you want one, we won't be able to replicate it. So just grab
Yeah.
fast. We also have 2 lots, I think, left of backing. 4.5 metres of backing. You will have to piece that to create
Yes,
it,
you'll
won't you?
cut it in half and join
But it's
it.
in the pattern, it's explained.
Yeah.
But there will be some of you who want that as well. I've put a little discount on those. We're going to look at the half metre heavens first, but I have mentioned the kits. So if the kits go super quick and you didn't get the chance because you were busy looking at the half metre heavens and pondering and considering, I've given everyone fair warning.
Yes.
And you will get the pattern in with your kit, so just bear that in mind.
Yeah.
Jane, I'm going to go into overhead.
Right.
There's lots of oohs and ahs going on everywhere. And we're going to look at the half metre heavens first.
Yeah.
These you can't buy now if you're joining us for the first time. Welcome. The half metre heavens are our Thursday deal, so those will go live at midnight tonight.
Superb.
So we'll go overhead, we'll have a little peep.
We've got a little bit of Christmas going on here.
We have.
last little bit of our Christmas fabric, our Macawa festive foliage, and this is poinsettias in cream.
Lovely.
And we've put this with bottle.
Beautiful.
And it's Macawa fabric, and it's got a beautiful highlight of gold.
It has.
On round the edges of the berries and the poinsettias and the mistletoe. There's some mistletoe in there. And even the background, which is cream, has got a little tiny dot of metallic gold on there. It's just...
It gives a little sort of sparkle / snowy effect, doesn't it?
It's a beautiful, beautiful fabric.
It is. Jane, if anyone bought the Macawa tree skirt kit, these fabrics are going to look fabulous with, aren't
Absolutely, yes. You could make table runner, napkins, cushions, all of that sort of thing.
It will match your Christmas tree skirt, or Christmas stockings, all of that. So
this is
your opportunity.
Holly Trail. I always want to call it Trail, which is ridiculous. Trail with scarlet. And again, beautiful gold metallics running through this. Very simple, nice blender fabric. Christmas blender fabric. It's a nice scale print, this one, with the holly leaves on. And that's like a cream background again. That's lovely.
Stunning.
Stop saying lovely. Now you know you say it. You're like, don't say it anymore. This is Gemma and Maine.
I don't think it's annoying.
Favourite.
Oh, there we go. I don't think it annoys everybody that we say lovely constantly. I think we're all right, Jane.
This is festive foliage. Merry Christmas robins.
Yeah,
Look at them, it's gorgeous.
That one's not festive foliage collection, it's
it's not.
Christmas collection. But they blend perfectly.
They do.
Because some of your Christmas fabrics will have a white background, some have an ivory / cream / these ones blend really nicely.
They do.
We put these together in the the tree skirt.
Yes.
So we know these all mix and match nicely.
Do you want to have a little close up on this?
Of course
Because
we
he's a
can.
bit lovely, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's a
now,
little bit gorgeous.
There's only
little
half a
cheeky
metre left of
robins.
this, and Jane and I both loved it. So because we couldn't decide who should have it, we've let you have it, which I'm really regretting.
Beautiful little robins. And again, it's got this lovely gold metallic running through it.
There is.
So pretty. So pretty.
Only got one of those. Just one. It's
Oh.
going to be fastest fingers first at midnight.
And that's with fur, our plain fur, which just pulls this green beautifully. And of course, if you get all of these half-metre heavens, you're going to be able to mix and match them, because they do all blend beautifully. We've got the next one, which is the festive foliage. It's the poinsettias again, but this time it's on green. Look at that.
Had to let the boss in.
Oh,
I'd locked her out.
oh, and a very soggy little Mabel.
I know. I just thought, what if a delivery man comes or something? Didn't think about my boss.
You know, that's fine too.
I locked the door and left the key in the back of the door. It was about 9:59 and 15 seconds when I went, the door's unlocked. What if a random man comes through the door with a parcel for us? And we're
Our
on air.
beautiful
I've got
Mabel.
nobody
I think it's
here.
called Father Christmas.
Lovely big sack.
Yes.
Treat yourself. Morning, everyone.
Good afternoon, boss. Nice of you to show up. Anyway, half metre.
Anywho, poinsettias on green with our plain red. Look how that lifts those poinsettias. Again, you know, why not get the two?
Yeah, look at that.
Look at that. You've got a whole quilt there, really. Make a beautiful table runner.
Oh, everyone ignore
all
Bob
sorts of
Polemi in the
things.
corner.
Sorry.
Listen to that delightful cough. Mmm.
It's lovely, isn't it?
I'm going to get rid of those Petri dish
Children.
skin dogs.
Skin dogs.
Bless.
Oh,
They can't
dear.
help it.
Well, you say this.
Yeah.
And we've got some lovely Beth and Janine here. Look
Oh,
at the
we
flamingos.
We
Don't worry if you don't want to buy that, because
We're
This
fine with
is
that.
from the Jungle Lux collection, and again it's got this lovely little accents of gold metallic running through that gives an almost feel of like party lights somehow. And that's with beautiful fuchsia, which picks out the flamingos and the little flowers in the background beautifully.
Yeah, it's the detail on the flamingos, isn't it? Rather than
Yeah.
the bulk of the colour, it's that darker bit of pink in there.
It's gorgeous.
Fabulous. She's
Gorgeous.
got away with colour that there, Natasha. Don't tell her anybody. She doesn't need telling.
Nope, she doesn't need
No.
to know.
No, can't
And then
raise
there's
her.
another little bit here of the jungle looks. And this is the animals.
Yes.
And this is fun. This is a lovely fabric. Look at that. I love the lemurs.
Me
and
too.
that's with our teal.
Baltic.
Baltic. Yes, because teal's darker.
That's
And
right.
again, this just pulls out this little bit on the leaves and the animals. The zebra's got a little star on his bum. It's just gorgeous.
Really
Everyone needs a
lovely.
star on their bum.
Don't they
do.
just?
Yeah.
What I must say as well,
I
actually,
love the tiger with his crown on.
some of you will be looking at these and saying, "Oh gosh, they look gorgeous," but I might want some extra planes for a quilt or whatever. We did put a blender bundle together.
Oh, I
of
We
asked
planes.
did.
it.
Oh,
Sorry.
you can't do that, Natasha.
Well, I
You're
thought
not
we
the
did
boss.
with it.
No. Ignore
We don't
that there,
archive-
boss. She doesn't
we
know
don't
what she's
archive the
doing.
planes.
No, the plane bundles stay up. I don't know. You can't get the staff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unarchive the bundle that Natasha thought she was boss and archived. Because when you buy your half metre Heavens Tonight, you might want to pick up a complimentary planes bundle, and it has a half metre each of the Baltic and the Fuchsia that you see here, but also teal and salmon.
Yes.
So if, I mean, actually independently, if you want to buy another plane to go with, you could buy some teal, you could buy some salmon. Tried and tested with this range, they look
that colour.
Yeah.
fabulous.
Amazing.
Yeah, the teal's kind of
Got-
background colour as
No,
well.
that's peachy.
They look great together. So just bear that in mind if you do decide you want to get some extra fabric to go with it, because let's be honest, if you're filling your stash, you might as well do it properly. Those planes would be
No
Absolutely.
half-hearted affair
No,
here.
No.
no half-assed efforts. No,
Go
no,
big or
no.
go home.
Exactly.
Or throw your phone down the loo, Jane.
Yeah, why not?
Oh dear.
We've got William Morris here. This is poppies. Look at this. This is the pure,
yes, pure Morris.
pure Morris.
Minerals, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is so beautiful. And Natasha has put beige with that, which
Yeah.
just absolutely complements it beautifully.
It is the colour of the detail.
Yes, it is. It's lovely. And we've also got the
Marigold.
marigolds.
We launch on Monday the new William Morris Buttermere collection. I've handpicked my
Oh,
favourites.
you kept that until I wasn't here. didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
And that's with natural seeded. So
Well, I'd
that
have told you, Jane,
combination.
but your phone was in the loo.
What's she like?
No secrets in this place, is
None.
there? No.
Zero.
No.
Zero. None.
So you've got the combination of those four there. Look how beautiful that is. That is so classic.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely combination. So the marigolds is with the natural seeded. There's not many of those. One, in fact. And the poppies, pure linen, is with the beige. And again, there's only one of those. So definitely fastest fingers first with that. We've got the William Morris Jasmine here. This is so pretty.
Oh, now I haven't seen this one for a little while.
It's a classic Morris
Does this come out
print.
your personal stash, Natasha? 'Cause
I
it's
mean,
been hiding somewhere.
I know.
That's
Because
a bit
this
of
sold
bottle.
out really fast, this
I
jasmine.
know.
Yeah. Look at that with
I
the
was
bottle. It just
tidying
lifts
up.
it beautifully.
Vicky and I were going through this. It was in a box of samples,
Oh.
and we were tidying up ahead of our move. And that's why I'm late today, by the way, because I've been overseeing the plastering of the new studio.
Excellent.
This is a
Goodo.
beautiful piece of pure acorn in navy, I think.
Do
Well,
you remember
the
we
name's
did
called
those
it.
two-tone cushions? You know the burrito ones where you sort of turn them through and
Yes.
roll them in? We did those out of that.
And that's with our navy. We've only got 3 of these.
So that's pure acorn
Again.
and ink, Jane.
Do you
which
know
is
what I
Classic.
would put
beautiful.
with it? And that is our really dark blue velvet.
Oh yes,
stunning.
the midnight one, yeah. Would look gorgeous, wouldn't it?
Hopefully you can all hear Natasha properly, because she's not mic'd up, but she does have a very big voice.
This is honeysuckle. This is
Vicky's
gorgeous.
having a fit at the fact that some of them we've only got one of.
Yes. This is
You've
honeysuckle,
actually passed.
and we have put peach with it, which of course just matches the honeysuckle flowers beautifully. That's
Gorgeous.
really pretty. Really pretty. And now we've got a little bit of Anna Marie Horner, Echinacea, and this is true.
I think I put that with sunshine yellow last time.
Yes.
But this time I've put it with the raspberry because it's really beautiful.
It is
Both work.
gorgeous.
Mm.
They do. But I thought those people that love the yellows have had the chance.
They have.
And then we've got it in peacock.
Upside down,
down.
apparently.
Maize, yeah.
Gravity-defying echinacea.
Wonderful.
There they
Maize
Terrain.
with
Ooh,
peacock.
Look at that!
Look at that, that's gorgeous because you've got the yellow here that pulls the same yellow print.
Can you
The
tell
same-
Jane's planning projects out here?
I mean, that could be
And the
cushions.
peacock and the raspberry just look delicious together,
Be the most amazing garden cushions, wouldn't they?
wouldn't they?
Any cushion or bag.
Yeah,
Just
fabulous
sunshine.
beach bags
Yeah.
or shoppers. Yeah.
Make and sell, make and sell. People make and sell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stunning.
Those
So
would grab
those,
the eye, wouldn't they, on a stall?
absolutely.
Stunning.
They are all our half-metre heavens which go live at midnight, don't they, Gemma?
They do indeed. Or a minute to midnight for those who've worked it out. Well done.
Yeah, we know who you are.
See you.
We see you.
Popping it in your basket and checking it out on the stroke of midnight. We know what you're up to.
We don't blame
Beautiful.
you.
No. We applaud you for your resourcefulness. Cynthia's with us on YouTube. She says,
Ohio!
greetings.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to today's make. That quilt looks a fabulous and fascinating assembly. Ali
Sorry,
says,
that's
oh,
my,
how scrumptious. Yeah, that's Natasha's phone ringing,
My
everyone.
phone
Quacking.
Quacking.
I'm just going to go to the post office.
Bye.
I'll see you later. I'll leave Mabel in with you.
Yeah, Ali says, oh, how scrumptious. Ali H says, morning ladies, watching from my bed, the joys of grandchildren returning to school now, sharing their bugs. Oh, gosh,
Yeah,
we
this
do
is where-
sympathise.
This is where ours have come from. Bless little Emily. Not her fault because somebody gave it to her.
Well, quite. And as Natasha says, germs don't have a postcode.
No,
Um,
this is true.
Cynthia says, yes, I can hear Natasha all the way over here, no problems. In Ohio. No,
Yes,
Mike. All
there
the
we
way over there. Vic's confirmed they can hear her as well. Today's kit, Jane. So, very clearly, this is not included in today's kit. This is an optional extra backing fabric.
That
the
is,
kit Jane is about to talk you through.
yeah, that's
is
Cranes and
this.
Frogs, I think it's called, something
It
like
is.
that. It is a stunning fabric. It is the one that they recommend to have as the
Yes.
backing fabric. We've done 4.5 metre pieces for you, should you wish to purchase it.
Oh, and those of you who were speedy have already got them.
Oh,
Well done, you.
well done.
Mm.
It's rather lovely fabric.
Yeah, well done.
So the kit is cut as per the instructions with a little bit of jiggery pokery because it's done in yards, and when it's 1 1/8 of a yard, that's 40 inches and a half, and we've given you 40 inches
Jane,
because
your
I
maths
know
thing, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Please don't. What I will say very quickly.
because I know that this
Jane
is a
made it.
yeah, it's a very generous kit. So we've cut it as per. I know that you're still going to have, even with 1/2 centimetre less, 1/2 inch less than it says, you're going to have more than enough.
Jane has made it. I need to be really, really clear. Jane
I have
has
made,
made
it.
it.
I have made it, and I have all of this and a bit more besides left over.
Lovely job. Look at that.
So you're going to be able to make matching cushions.
Yeah, and even the teeny skiddly bits, Jane.
Yeah.
You're going to make pin cushions and beautiful
You're going to make
things
all
out
sorts of gorgeous things with it.
Oh.
Now, bearing in mind, I have made a full quilt and I've made my demo bits from this kit.
Yes,
So,
that's true because you've had to make your blocks for today.
yeah,
Oh, so there's enough, for little
yeah,
bits of cushioniness.
yeah. The thing is, you've got the opportunity with these fabrics to fussy cut them for your fans, which is why they've been generous with the fabric, so that you've got plenty of space to position your templates. You've got, this is Morris & Co. This is seaweed from the Kelm's Cot, not clot,
Teeth in, Jane.
Kelm's
Teeth in.
Cot collection. It's a beautiful deep navy with a little almost grey blue, royal Air Force blue spot that's very random. Lovely backing fabric, background fabric. You've got laburnum, which is lovely, a nice one. That's used for the binding, according to the pattern, and in the fans. You've got Chinese lanterns. These are all metre pieces, these ones. This is used for the sashing around the fans, the frames. You've got the koi, which is the one that is for the corner triangles, setting in triangles. This one is, I'm going to refer to the chart here because I get a bit confused with them. This one is the large crane and frog. So the backing fabric of the quilt that we've offered is the same pattern but smaller scale.
It is.
But the print and the artwork on this is just
I'm a bit of a fan of a crane.
gorgeous.
I mean, as we know. I don't know if everyone can see.
Yes. Natasha, Gemma matches beautifully today's quilt with her kimono.
Fan. And I have a Japanese-inspired room in my house. You've slept in that room, Jane?
I have. It's a beautiful room.
It will be when it's finished. But
We've
this
got the koi,
fabric-
you see, you've got the koi in here, you've got the cranes, you've got the mandarin ducks. I'm not going to point out the frogs because my mum's watching.
Oh, she don't like them. No, she doesn't, does she?
Phobia. So you've
We'll
got
forgive
that
them.
beautiful fabric. So as I say, these pieces of fabric are generous. So you are going to have the lovely opportunity to fussy cut these. This is the bonsai. It's not bonsai at all. It's called pajing. Pajing. It's got
But there
bonsai
are-
trees on it.
There are bonsai trees on there.
And this is used in the fans. And again, you've got plenty to give you the option for fussy cutting. And then this is the number E, Indian peony trail. God, that again has got peacocks, pheasants, and beautiful ducks, and this lovely blue and mauve colourway.
That's Natasha's favourite.
It is a gorgeous fabric.
Whereas mine, no one will be surprised, is the...
Yeah. Mine
Yeah.
is this one.
Oh, you see, this was a close second for me because that's
Yeah.
a beauty.
This is Emperor Peony. And this has a bit of nostalgia for me because it reminds me very much of the wallpaper that I used to have in my bedroom as a child, but
It's
it was
got a
all blue.
real classic Sanderson feel
Yeah.
to it, that one, hasn't it?
The background of this is a lovely sagey blue colour.
It's a duck eggy colour almost,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's lovely. And it's got almost, again, it's like a linen texture print. So there's more going on in the background than just the flowers printed on. I just love this one. I love the colours in it. These are used in the fans. You've got this one, which is bonsai and ginkgo. And again, this is vibrant, beautiful bonsai trees, ginkgo leaves. It's beautiful.
It's so difficult to choose a favourite, it really is.
There are stunning ones. This is my other favourite.
This is my favourite and this is my favourite. And
Yeah,
this is all
this
my
one
favourites.
is called Chinoiserie Hall.
There's little what look like lovebirds. And
Yes.
they're on this side actually.
And there's butterflies and blossoms.
Just here.
Yeah, these two
Little
here.
lovebirds.
Gorgeous
They're
fabrics.
So sweet.
Beautiful
These are fabrics
prints.
you can get lost in, aren't they? The
Yeah.
more you look at them, the more you see. They're just beautifully done.
It's a lovely base cloth as well to work with. This one is, again, a beautiful print. This one is, let me get it right because
That's
just
all right.
checking. Now then.
I wanted to say that one was Emperor.
Yeah, no, that's his Emperor Peony because it's got great big peonies on it. That one that was my favourite is actually called the Sang Tree.
Yeah,
And I'm
Fusan tree.
Fusan Tree.
Yeah, yeah.
This has got stylised butterflies as well. It's very beautiful. Really rich colourways.
Yeah, so the one that Jane loved earlier was Fusang Tree in green. This one's Emperor Peony Multi.
And then this one is just a pretty fabric and it's very directional, but it gives you a fabulous opportunity for fussy cutting as well. And this is Bamboo and Birds. And you can
Knock the boss out. She's
you
going
can
to
see the
post.
bamboo there and the birds on there, and the birds are in different directions, so you can fussy cut it as you wish. But obviously this bird here is facing downwards because he's having a good munch on the bamboo stalks. Beautiful colours in here. This lovely mustard with the pink. I just think it's so pretty. And then you will have a little squiddly diddly bit of, it's a solid and it's twinkle. And it's just a very pretty lemony yellow colour. And it's just, you've got more than enough here because it's the little square that's used in the base of the fan.
Now, Jane,
So it
I've
gives you
put an
plenty.
introductory price on this because, for my money, this colour blends beautifully with so many of the fabrics in this collection.
It
And
does. It's just the right colour.
Yeah, and if people want to
Goes
make cushions or
fabulously.
anything like that, this would be great to bind them or to do backing of the cushions or whatever else.
Yeah, or add a flange into your
Yeah.
binding. It's just the right colour.
If anyone's looking
go
for a
with.
plain to go
Look
with
at
this
that.
collection, then rather than trying to second guess it, this is the fabric that Free Spirit themselves have chosen to go with. And it's a Tula pink fabric. So
It's a premium fabric,
yeah,
isn't it?
it's
You know,
beautiful.
it's a good quality base, solid.
But they've chosen it to complement this collection. And they've done that for a reason, which
Excuse
is
me.
why we've brought it in.
Yes.
So I do have it on a discount today if you want to buy extra to be able to make other items to complement your quilt,
Yes.
as we quite often do.
Yeah. And if you missed out on your backing fabric, why not use that one?
Yeah. Now, the other thing to consider as well, if you have missed out on your backing fabric and you feel a bit aggrieved, a bit sad about it, your backing fabric is 4.5 metres. If you see one of these fabrics, so that's 9 units in cut to order money. If you see one of these fabrics, any of them in the collection, perhaps you want to back it with, chimoiserie haul or something like the bamboo and bird. If you pop 9 units in your basket and check it out and pop a note on your order to say quilt backing, then I will go in and I will manually add that little discount that I had on for this pre-cuts that we had here because they sold out instantly. All
Not
right?
surprised. It's stunning
Because
fabric.
we did pop, a couple of quid off. So, yeah, if you buy 9 units of one fabric and you pop on your notes, backing fabric discount, please, then I will go in and manually just give you a little refund.
Did we
in
work
respect
out
to
that it's nearly 9 metres of fabric in the kit for
It
the
is
front?
in the kit, yeah.
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 And that's got the fabric for your binding as well. So you've got the front and the binding in that kit. And as I said, it's a generous kit. There's plenty of opportunity for fussy cutting. And you'll have some left over for cushions probably.
Good-o.
That's the block. You've got that block and you've got this block. How cute is that?
Fabulous. It's
That is
really sweet.
Basically makes up the quilt.
I was going to say, actually, Vicky and I have got this thing for fabric coasters of late.
Yes.
Like making little fabric coasters. That would be adorable.
Well, again, you'd be able to make coasters to go with your quilt.
Yeah.
Have those on the bedside table
nice.
next to your bed.
Yeah, or in the lounge if you're going to have it there on your
Yeah.
coffee table. Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
I can just hear Vicky's head click, click, clicking away.
Yeah.
She's
Right.
be working.
Let's have a look at how we do this then.
Brilliant.
So your pattern has all of your fabrics, quantities, and your additional requirements there. So it tells you how much wadding you're going to need. And then your preparation. Now, I would say to you, press your fabrics and treat them with your spray starch, your flatter, your best press, whichever you use, because you're going to cut these. A lot of them are bias.
Sorry, I've said something to confuse everybody. 9 units, 4.5 metres.
Yes,
Backing.
backing fabric.
So you add 9 units to basket because we sell by the half metre
Yeah.
for your backing fabric. So 9 units added to basket is 4.5 metres.
There we go.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. And you are going to have your templates here. Now, don't do what I did and cut your templates out before reading through the pattern, because your fabric placement on your pattern is on the back of one of the sets of templates. So possibly photocopy it first, templates. So you will see, there it is on the back of my template there. This is the corner edge template. Now you're going to have to make sure that you cut the 2 pieces out and join them very carefully. And then I've glued mine onto my template plastic, and I did have to join my template plastic because your template plastic is an A4 sheet, so as it doesn't fit onto the A4 of the templates on the pattern, nor will it fit exactly onto your template plastic. But your template plastic comes in a pack of 2, so you've got plenty to make your templates with. Then I traced the corner template onto my template plastic, and I always write on my templates what it is, because there'll come a time when you've got all these templates in your drawer and you're like, oh, what was this for? So I always write what it is on there. And then you've got the half fan template. Now you could, again, you could copy this and join it and then stick that onto your template plastic, but again you would have to join your template plastic. So I'm going to show you how I used it with the half to draw onto my fabric. So those are your templates. You've got a square here that should measure 1 inch. So just double check that when you get your pattern, just to make sure it is the right size if you're downloading it. You've got the layout of all the blocks here. You've got how to place the templates and how to cut on the fabrics. All of that's on there. And then you've got all your instructions. They're quite concise about how to construct the units for the quilt and put it together. And there you are, there's the finishing it off. It's very much once you've made your blocks, and it tells you how many to make of each one, but it also tells you here from which fabrics to cut what. You've got your layout then, so you can see the corresponding blocks and where they go in your layout. You don't have to do it the same way as this. You can have a look at it and you might want to change the arrangement. That's up to you, but if you want to follow it, that's the layout and how it goes. So that's the pattern. It's got all of the information on there. Trace and cut out your templates and have those already done.
And you liked having this on template plastic, Jane?
Yeah, I think it's more robust than trying to pin a paper pattern onto your fabric and then trying to cut round it.
Yeah, especially with a curve.
You risk the danger of then cutting into your pattern and all of that. And I don't cut around my template. Template plastic isn't thick enough to cut around with your rotary cutter.
Right.
Again, what will happen is you'll start to cut into your plastic and you'll end up with a shape that is smaller than the one that you started with. So, cutting out your, here's the other part of my pattern. Look. Put them together like that to get the actual sheet. So yeah, hint and tip from me is photocopy your template patterns. So, fussy cutting. Now you can see that from the fabric that I had of the cranes and frogs, I've still got quite a bit left over, so I've got enough to do another.
That's loads.
Yeah. So, when you place your fan template on the fabric, this folded edge here, which is on the pattern here, says flip over and trace along the dashed line, is this part here. Have that on the straighter grain of your fabric. I mean, of course, the other beauty of template plastic is you can see through it, so you can see where you're placing your template. So this is why it's a great opportunity for fussy cutting with template plastic. So when drawing around templates, angle your pen in towards the edge of the template. If you angle your pen straight up against the edge of it, you're adding a little bit extra onto your pattern. So angle your pen in towards your template, draw around the edge. Carefully, I'm going to say, but I'm doing mine quite quickly just to get it done.
Yeah, it's a do as I say, not as I do situation.
Yeah.
Because you're
And then
on.
just mark into the corners, because this is the half of the fan template. If you're going to do it this way, flip your template over and then place it so that you can see that line just inside your template. So you're not placing it against the edge of the drawn line. You're just moving your template in slightly so that the drawn line is on the inside of the edge of your template. This allows for any minute discrepancy. I mean, it's minimal, but we do know from experience that every thread together can increase the size of your block, and it doesn't always fit together then. So once you've got that drawn round, you can then cut it out. And I always cut out, when I've drawn it, particularly with the curved edge, I cut it out with scissors.
Yes.
And again, I would probably cut it out just slightly inside the line, or exactly on the line rather than on the outside edge of the line. Again, just because you've got the width of your pen, and you know, that's another few threads that add to the size of your block if you're a bit generous with your marking, you know, and your pen's thick and all of the other things. And as I say, I would strongly recommend you pre-treating your fabric with starch, best press, flatter, whichever one you use, because you've got a curve here, which is sort of a bias.
And Jane, you are using some lovely sharp scissors.
Oh, I love these scissors. These are the Sew Line scissors. They go right to the edge, point there, cuts right to the point. They're just lovely. And they've got a nice soft grip as well.
But do not try and cut your fabric with blunt scissors. Your beautiful fabric deserves a nice sharp pair of shears.
Yeah, decent scissors. It's just like with your rotary cutter, you know, you don't want a dull blade. If you're going to use your rotary cutter for a project like this, you're going to be doing a lot of cutting, and you need a new blade in your rotary cutter.
From a safety point of view as well, you know.
Yeah, because you're more likely to cut yourself if your blade's dull.
Yeah.
There we go. So that is that part of the fans cut there. Probably could do with a bit of a press, Gemma.
What a lovely fussy cut that is, eh? Oh, I will very happily press it.
Thank you.
I'm not going to smoosh my iron around too much.
No.
It's a press and lift situation.
It is,
We've
absolutely.
got biased edges, haven't we?
We have. So you'll do the same with your corner. And again, when you're placing this on the fabric, place it so that this point here runs along the straight of the grain of your fabric. That also helps with the fussy cutting, as you can see. That's the straight of the grain of fabric, so that point is on the straight of grain.
I see it.
And the corners of the fan, this shape, the edge template, this edge here and this edge go with the grain of the fabric. Don't be tempted to sort of put it on like that, because you want that biased edge, you want that curve, so they fit together nicely. So we're now going to sew these three pieces together. Now, when I'm doing fans, I like to find the middle part of my fan section, and I just put a little crease in it there, so right sides together. And then my corner piece, I will put that wrong sides together and do a little finger press there to get a little crease in the middle. And then what I can do then, when I put them right sides together, I've got the crease going that way and an indent, so it sits inside, the two creases sit against each other. I'm going to reach across you and get the pins, Gemma.
Of course you can.
Thank you. Carefully not to tap anything that shouldn't be tapped.
Created a
So
barrier.
I will put a pin in now where those two creases line up against each other. And you've got that effect going on. I take this corner edge here and I line that up with the corner of my fan. And I put a pin in that edge. And I do the same on this side. You can't do this without fans. You know what I'm like. I like to put things together and just slam them under the machine. You can't do a curved edge like this without pins.
No.
And then I'll work my way towards the middle from the outside edge, just gently easing the fabrics together and pinning as I go.
Jane, the first time I had to sew curves, I was quite anxious about it, and I thought it was going to be very difficult.
It's a lot easier than you think, isn't it?
Yeah.
And for the dressmakers amongst us that put sleeves in all the time, you'll find it very easy.
The first one I did in quilting was when I was doing the Candy Medallion quilt, actually,
Yes.
the block of the month. And I remember getting my right knickers in a twist about this block that had a curve in it. And actually that probably came out as my best block because I took my time, I used my pins,
Yeah,
and I concentrated.
this is it,
And
isn't it?
actually, it's fine.
Yeah. So I'm putting my pins in. They're probably about 1 inch apart. You can put more in if you want to. You can put less in. You know your confidence level and you know how you feel about it. So it will look like that. And then you sew 1/4 inch along there.
Amazings. This is the bit I love, seeing these blocks come together really quickly. Because they do, you do your cutting and then you get them together and suddenly...
Yeah,
have blocks.
you've got a block and it's
Yeah.
very straightforward.
Auntie Lizzie says even just the one block looks beautiful. It really does.
Yeah, you
Really
could just make one
lovely.
block into a cushion, couldn't you?
Yeah.
And you just...
If you've got a lounge diner, you could turn that block into a mat for your table. They'd be
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
Little placemats. Sue Langford said, what a beautiful snippy sound. Yes, it was
Yeah,
the
we
sew
love
line
scissors. We love scissor sound.
We really do. And yes, today's pattern, if you are buying the kit, is included with the kit. It's not our pattern. Very clear, it is not our pattern.
No.
It's a Free Spirit Free Spirit pattern called Framed Fans.
And it's been designed by Lucy A. Faisley.
That's right. All of the details are on the kit page, but what we're doing is printing a copy off on our premium paper and popping it in free with your kit if you're buying your kit from us today.
I found it easier to press the seam under the corner edge.
Mhm.
In the pattern it says to press it in towards the
Okay.
fans. I just felt that the fabric wanted to go that way, so I did it. Because you know what I'm like, listen to your fabric.
Neither is wrong then, Jane, is it?
I don't think so,
If
they
they've
came
done it
out
one way and
beautifully.
you've done it the other and both have worked, then whichever suits.
Just press it carefully because obviously it is a biased edge.
Don't stretch.
Don't stretch it. And don't worry if it looks a bit wobbly. And we'll come to that in a moment. So we're going to add the corner bit in now. And again, press that right sides together, finger press.
Jane, I love the fact that you've been mindful of the fact that you wanted to get his leg in and you've left a little bit there,
Yeah,
so you're not going to
1/4
chop
of an
off
inch.
half
Just
his
think
foot.
about things like that because you've got to remember you've got a seam allowance going on.
Absolutely. I like that little attention to detail there, Jane. Beautiful.
I'm all about the detail, Gemma. And then again, we've got those creases and we can line them up.
This is what totally threw me when I did my block, was how this was going to go together like this. Because
Yeah,
it doesn't
because that looks
make
like
any
it's
sense.
going to fit, does it?
No.
But we do the same thing again. We line up the edges.
That was the bit where my brain just didn't work. I think I sent you several pictures going, Jane, like
Have
this,
you-
Jane? Yes, Gemma. Really, Jane? Yes, Gemma.
Are you sure these are right size templates? Yes, Gemma.
Have I done it wrong, Jane? Right, Gemma, just trust the process. All right, Jane.
And again, we're just going to ease that in. And you'll feel the fabric underneath. Make sure it's lying flat because it will want to ruckle up a little bit.
Mhm.
And this is the beauty because it's a biased edge. You've got that little bit of ease in there. So you can just give it a little bit of a...
Now, Jane is using
Stretch.
the patchwork pins by Taylor Seville. They are your friend.
They're beautiful.
The magic pins. Now, we love a magic pin. I mean, Natasha's not allowed to use any other types of pins because she melts them. And these ones don't mind an iron. They don't get cross about an iron.
So
We
that
have
looks
these.
like that, which
It
doesn't
doesn't make sense.
doesn't make
does
any
it?
sense.
I might have
But
to go
when you
close
sew
up,
it,
Jane, just to show that it doesn't make sense.
it sits like that. It's a bit scrunched
What
up.
is this wizardry? What is it?
But when we sew it, It all comes together. Just take your time, nice and steady, working your way around the edge. Just ease the fabric underneath, just make sure you'll be able to feel it with your thumb, that it's not puckered or rippled underneath. You don't need to go forward and back at the beginning and the end because you're going to put seams over the top of it, so it's going to hold it down. And again, this time the fabric wants to sit with the seam underneath the shorter curve, the corner curve piece. So we listen to it and we do the same thing there. We're just going to press that. Thank you, Gemma. Just use the tip of your iron just to gently make sure it's gone right against the edge of the seam, and just give it a press like so. Now, when I said to you don't worry about the fact that it's a bit wobbly, you're going to have to trim it now. You need to trim it down so it is 9.5 inches square. Now in the diagram it shows you just trimming it on this side. Now you can do that, but if you do, you run the risk of cutting it right up against the edge of the fan, which when you come to sew it into your block means that you'll sew your seam into the edge of the fan part. So I used square ruler and I lined up the edge of my seam where the background fabric and the fan join, and I lined up 1/4 inch mark on that one edge and lined it up with the straight edge here, and I trimmed that first side so that I got a straight edge to work against. And then if I use the Creative Grids ruler and I put the 9.5 mark here that lines up there, and again just checking that I've got the 1/4 inch mark here on that seam line, I can cut along there. Now if it's still a little bit too big, you can turn the block around and you can line the 9.5 with those two cut edges, and you can trim down the sides here along the top. And if you've got a rotating cutting mat, that really helps.
Oh,
what I would do
your friend, aren't they?
is I would turn that around. I've got my 9.5 here and here. I know these edges are straight because I've just trimmed them, and I would just trim that edge there. So I would just make sure that I've got 1/4 inch here and here. If you've got to trim off a little bit from here and here after that, that's fine, because it's still going to be a 9.5 inch square. But I wouldn't trim any more off this edge, because if you do, you'll lose the edge of your fan. Just make sure you've got your 1/4 inch seam allowance on there. That isn't explained particularly well, I don't think, on the pattern. But
Well, thank you for explaining it, Jane.
I think it's important to,
Yeah.
because if you're doing this for your first one and you just think, right, I just need to trim that off, these two sides, to make it 9.5, and then you come to put your blocks together, you might find that you've lost the edge of your fan here, which might be quite disappointing.
Disappointing, Jane, is putting it mildly.
Yeah,
I think I'd be quite cross.
right, annoyed. So we now add 2 strips of the background fabric to the top and bottom of the square, and we've got the little square of the lemon yellow twinkle colour to add to that. So the first thing we do is we add the strip to the one side, and it's against your fan. Just remember that it's going against the fan and not the background. It's background, so it's framing the whole of the fan, hence the name. And you're just going to add that strip on, 1/4 inch seam, down to the edge. Now I've just maybe cut this slightly too short. It'll go into the seam allowance. And I press that towards the background fabric. And then we add the square to the end, the short end of one of the strips. And we press that so that the seam goes underneath the background fabric. So that when we come to put those two together, we can nestle the seam, because that seam's going that way and this seam's going that way. We can nestle that in the corner there.
Sue Langford says, Jane, is there a place for basting glue when sewing curves, or should I wash my mouth out?
No, there are people that prefer to use basting glue,
Yeah.
and you would do the same thing. You'd start in the middle with your glue stick, where I pinned it in the middle, and then put dots of glue around the edge of the curve, and you can just place your fabric that way. And, you know, whatever works for you, if that method works for you, then go for it.
And Julia says, I was thinking quilter's tape.
You might find it difficult with quilter's tape because it's a curve and your tape isn't biased.
Gotcha.
But you could do little pieces of quilter's tape.
Yes.
And that, as they say, is your block.
Well, that's fabulous, isn't it?
So, you know, I think the biggest thing on this is the cutting out, because you want to take your time with your fussy cutting and your fabric placement. But actually constructing the block, once you've done all your cutting out, will take you no time at all. So the little 9-patch unit that we made, so cutesy.
So cute.
You need to have strips of the fabric.
Yeah.
Of your Chinese lanterns and your background. You will have 2 strips of your Chinese lantern and 1 of your background. Sew those together along the long edge. Press the seams towards the background fabric.
Okay.
And then you will have the same again, but this time you will have 2 strips of your background and 1 of your Chinese lanterns. And again, you press the seams towards the background fabric. Okay. So those ones go out and these ones go in.
Gotcha. You
will cut from your, what have I just done with my ruler? I'm looking right at it, but it's see-through.
It's a very good
with
question.
this one.
So there's one here.
Oh, that's probably the one.
Oh, no, that's a square.
It would work.
Rulers everywhere, Petal. Rulers everywhere.
You're going to cut segments of this. Again, I would line up the edge of my fabric with my cut edge and then line up with the seam rather than the edge of the fabric, because the edge of your fabric can be a bit wobbly. You need 2 of the strip with the Chinese lanterns on the outside, and you need 1 of your 2 background strips with the Chinese lanterns in the middle. And you sew those together so that you've got your 9-patch like so. And because you've done your little thing with the seams, they nestle. So you're going to get nice, crisp points where they join up together. So it's just a case of joining those with your 1/4 inch seam allowance. Oops. And you'll feel it sort of clicks somehow, the seams. It's very satisfying.
Yeah, when we taught little Izzy Wiz to do this, she's like, oh, clicky seams.
Yeah.
Clicky seams.
Clicky seams.
Yeah, they are the clicky seams.
So you'll do those 2. And you can chain piece this. There's quite a few to make, so chain piecing is your friend. Those 2 together, and then you're going to sew that one on that side. And there is an opportunity for a twiddle in the middle of satisfyingly double, if you like.
Nice.
It's nobody's going to see it, but it does make it easier for quilting, I think. So because they're very small pieces, you've got quite a bulky seam allowance here and here, where all the 4 points meet together.
Yeah.
So on the inside, you can unpick where those seams join. There's a couple of stitches there and here on that seam on both sides. Just get my unpicker in there. 1 or 2 stitches. Sometimes there's only one, sometimes there aren't even any, depending on how you've cut through when you've done your piecing. Just undo those, that's tipped itself over on both sides. And then when you come to press it, you can press it so that that one goes that way and that one goes that way. So you've got a little 4 patch going on there, and then you do the same on the opposite sides. It is, as I say, rather satisfying.
It is, isn't it?
So they look like that when they're pressed.
Beautiful.
So joining your quilt together, as I say, in the instructions, there is a lovely diagram which shows you how to lay them out. Now you're going to, with your koi fabric, you're going to cut squares, and you will have 2 slightly smaller squares, and you need to cut them. You've got 2 of these squares, and you need to cut one from left to right and the other one from right to left.
Okay.
This is because they're going to be the corner squares, and they go in opposite corners. So if I try to put that one in that corner, you'll see that my fish then start to swim in a different direction.
Yes.
So if I'd cut the both squares in the same angle,
Yeah.
my corners wouldn't work.
No. I see this.
So they're your corner pieces, and then you're going to have a bigger square which you will cut into 4 triangles, and you will have, let's pretend this is the right size, you'll have those ones from the top and the bottom of the 4 will go in the top and the bottom of your quilt, because again the fish will be swimming in the right direction.
Yeah.
And then your side triangles will go on the side of your quilt, and again your fish will be swimming in the right direction. They've thought about this with the fabric placement. So constructing your quilt is quite straightforward. You start with, following the chart, you start with your block, and you will have some of your long pieces. So you'll make many of this strip.
Yeah.
And you'll cut your pieces to the pattern, and you'll get strips of fabric that sit. Not that piece.
Jane, you've
Got
got so
all
many
sorts
now.
of bits under here. It's crazy. So you start with your corner triangle.
Yeah.
You'll also have some squares of your laburnum, and again you cut those into 4. Think about the way that the laburnum sits, because the flower hangs down.
Okay.
You cut that into 4 through both diagonals to get your 4 triangles. So have it facing you with the direction of the fabric in the correct orientation.
Okay.
And you will cut through the one diagonal, and then you'll cut through the opposite diagonal.
Natasha's saying she wants a lampshade out of the fish fabric. You're going to have to move quickly, lady. I don't want to be saying you've had your chance to you.
No, she'd be very cross.
She would.
So you end up with 4 triangles like so. And again, you'll think about your fabric placement with these, because this is your first block, this is your corner. So you place your strip there, and you're going to have these triangles. So you want one with the fabric going from the corner of your side triangle, if you like, And then this top one you want from your top triangle, because then your fabric placement is going the same way. This block here, you will sew strip to the side, underside, and you will put your edge
Look at that.
triangle there and your side triangle on here. So that they are side triangles.
Yeah.
So one is from the top of the square and these are from the side of the square. Just, I think if you have your triangles set out still in the square, it'll help you with the orientation.
Yeah, yeah.
The pattern is very straightforward to follow, and you can see the direction of the thing. So you will sew these. Now, if you can see on this side here, that triangle is bigger, and it's meant to be. That's your seam allowance.
Okay.
So line up the edges here.
Yeah.
And sew up
Allow
there,
the
and that
excess.
excess
Okay.
will be your seam allowance.
Righto.
And the same with these ones here. It's just a little bit bigger. It's your quarter an inch seam allowance. So I would sew
make sure
these.
your bottoms match.
Yeah. Sew these two triangles onto there,
Mm-hmm.
and then sew that triangle onto there.
Gotcha.
That's your corner.
Gotcha.
I would then sew
Amazing.
these two pieces onto there, and then sew my triangles on, and then sew that to there. Then you've got your next strip, which involves your sashing pieces
Okay.
and your little 4 patches. So you've got a sashing piece, and your 4 patches, and you'll have another sashing piece.
Yeah.
You can see on the instructions how many you need. So you have a sashing piece. I'm going to take this one from here. You start with a triangle, and it's a side triangle.
Oh, I don't think we can see
You
that.
can't
We're off
see
camera.
that. We're off camera.
Yes.
Let's move that out of the way. So you've got,
But it's creating in rows still.
yes,
Just looking at the quilt diagonally.
you look at it. If you turn your instructions
Yeah.
like that to face you, you can
You
see
can
the
see
rows. So you then make that sashing strip. And I would make my sashing strips and my rows of triangles and blocks. And I would join a sashing strip to a row.
Okay.
And then I would join the rows.
Yeah.
And what I actually did was I made half the quilt. So I made up to that point there. And then I made the other half of the quilt.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did one long line rather than joining it row, 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 row.
Yeah.
Because that's going to stretch it. You're
Yeah.
working on a bias. It's going to stretch it, the weight of it. So do it in pairs, and then you can do 2 rows like that. But I found this was quite a long row, so I did the pairs together there and there, then sewed that strip onto the corners, as it were, and then sewed that line through
Gosh.
there.
Sometimes, Jane, you tell us to alternate the direction in which we're sewing on rows. Does it not
Yeah,
matter so much
I
with this
don't
one?
think it matters with this one.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to bend because there's lots of pieces, and
Yeah.
you've got lots of opportunity for seam matching, because you've got this seam here matches up with that one there.
Yeah.
So you've got lots of points of matching up
Well,
seams.
that's good. Lots of points of reference.
Yeah,
And Jane, for as much as we're giving lots and lots of top tips here, it's not a complicated thing
no,
to
it
make.
isn't. It isn't. Once
And
you've
you
got
make it
your
very
blocks
quickly.
made,
Yeah.
I think the thing that's going to take you the longest time is to cutting out your
Yeah.
pieces, because you'll want to take the time to do your fussy cutting and things like that.
Take your time cutting. Take your time pressing.
Yes.
Don't,
Yes.
you know, pull it all out.
Particularly with your fan block,
Yeah.
because you don't want to push your iron on this and distort all of your
No.
fabric around the edge there, because you've got all these biased edges. It comes together really quite quickly once you've got the fans made.
And this block would make a really lovely cushion.
Yeah,
Perfect
because you
for
could
that.
just, if you didn't want to make the whole quilt, why not just do a cushion with the frame on?
Yeah.
You know, you've got your 4 patches in the corners. You could have it with just the frame.
Or if you wanted it to sit around the other way,
Yeah,
have triangles in the 4 corners to
Yeah.
make it square that way on. So
yeah,
that
you could do whatever
is on
you
point in the
wished.
middle.
Yeah, you could do whatever you wished.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It's a really lovely block, and it comes together really nicely. And the fabric placement is
Yeah.
so pretty.
It really is. Jane Sue Langford is very smug because she
Is
felt
she?
felt and sensed a twiddle in the middle coming on.
Oh, did
She does
she?
love being right.
Oh,
Leslie Reynolds has a question for you.
right. Yes,
She
Leslie.
says, "Good morning, ladies. I have a layout question, please. Would these fan blocks work as a border around a panel? And if so, how would you orientate them?"
Well, if you've got a panel, let's just take a piece of fabric. Let's move that.
I can hear the brain clunking away.
Yeah. Let's just use a piece of fabric for an example as a panel. Let's say that's
Oh,
your
yes.
panel.
Because let's be honest, many of these would be beautiful. That's
Now, you might want to put them on point, in which case you're going to have inset triangles.
Yeah.
You might want to just line them up against the side,
You could alternate
You could
direction
have
like that.
them-
Yeah.
like so, or you could change them, like Gemma says, you
Yeah.
could put them one against the other.
That'd look fab, wouldn't it?
The thing you've got to think about is the size of your fan and the size of your panel. You might have to add a sashing around your panel just to increase the size of your blocks to get it to go round. But if you were going to put them so they were square, you'd have to think about the size of the triangle that you wanted to fit in there against it.
There's lots of options to have fun with that, Leslie. If you do that, please do show us. We're right nosy.
Oh, we love to see, yes, we
do.
do.
We really, really love to see. Lisa Taylor says, "Hello, lovely. I really missed you." She also says, "Thanks for all your help yesterday with my email. I'll put an order in now."
Oh, excuse
We're
me.
always at the end of an email if we're needed.
Yeah, we'll always help if we can.
Yeah, of course we will. Of course we will. More than happy to. Lots of love for this project. It's very, very beautiful. It
Yeah.
really is. But it is about just equipping yourself with all the bits and bobs you need to make it and just enjoying it, isn't
enjoying the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love this. Now, this one is going into Natasha's lounge, like I say. Don't be asking us, can I buy the sample? Because the answer is no.
No way.
To fight Natasha for it. She
Yeah,
has
no.
been waiting for this
She's got
for
her
a
dibs on
really,
it.
really, 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 really long time.
Yeah.
So yes, she is very excited to have
I
this
made the
here.
mistake of saying, "Oh, shall I just make a smaller version?" And she was like, "Pardon?"
The look
What?
of horror on her face.
I was like, "You know,
was
because
the
it's a lot of
picture.
fabric." And she was like, "No, I want this in
No.
my lounge."
Some things you just need to go big or go home. That's just how
Absolutely.
it is. That is just how it
Absolutely. Yeah.
is. Oh, Jane, thank you.
You're very welcome. You're going to have fun making this.
Yeah.
It's just a lovely, lovely pattern.
For sure. For sure. Look at her organising all her bits and bobs.
Yeah, because
This
I'm going to
lot's
have to
not going
just.
straight in the scrap bin. She is going to be making with this. She's going to be having
I think
so much
Natasha
fun
might
with
need some cushions to go
Cushions.
with her quilt.
100%. And apparently a fish lampshade. Well, I don't blame her.
No, nor me.
The thing is, there's so many stunning fabrics in this collection that you've got loads of scope to do all the matching things.
Yeah.
And just making plain cushions with any of these.
Yeah.
Nice piped cushions, things like
You know, our
that.
flanged piping would make gorgeous
Yeah.
with that.
And if you are thinking you'd like to make some cushions, perhaps you want to try different techniques. Jane's orphan block series, we started it, didn't we? We get an orphan block and then you went, right, I'm going to turn that into a cushion.
Yes.
Sometimes you make a block and you think, I've got an extra one, or actually, I'm never making that block again, it was awful, and I want to turn it into a cushion.
Absolutely.
We've got a whole series called Cushion Finishing with Flair, and you've taught us all sorts of things.
All sorts of
haven't you?
finishing,
So
yeah.
there's lots of different options
Yeah.
to finish your cushions off. Keep an eye
You'll
out
have
for
fun
that.
with it.
Yeah. Have a look on the website. You'll find those instructions there in digital and printed format. Jane, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It's a
been
pleasure.
Fabulous.
I know, it's such a hardship working with such lovely fabrics. You know,
I know.
what can I say?
I know. I know. It's yeah, not a bad life, is it?
No.
Really. Lots of people saying hi on YouTube as well. Lovely to have you. Oh, brilliant detailed demo. Thank you, Jane. Thank you for your fabulous inspiration. I will definitely share, says Leslie Reynolds. Well, we're pleased to hear it. We look
Good,
forward to
good.
seeing.
We look to see
We
it.
do.
Yeah, we do love to see what you do. Yes.
Sue said, I just spluttered coffee everywhere. Did I hear Lady Like Jane say flange? It's one of our favourite words.
It is.
We love it.
We do love a bit
Yeah,
of flanged.
we do. The flanged show was a great one, actually.
Yes.
There were some quotes that ended up on my big whiteboard in the warehouse.
Yes.
I have a big whiteboard where one of them says something and I write it on the board for just general amusement
General
purposes.
amusement, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We won't go on to that. Find the flange show and you'll find out for yourself. Karen says, thanks Jane for a great demo. Jane says, stunning quilt. Grab it while you can, because we only have the limited number that we have, and that is that.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to have a look, because I realised that the backing fabric went super quick. I'm going to have a look at whether there's another suitable fabric. I've got my eye on one as an alternative. So yeah, we might
Any of
load
the
up some more
fabrics
quilt
within the
backing.
collection would work.
They would.
As Gemma says, you need 9 units. It's 4.5 metres, which is 9 units because we sell it in 1/2 metre units.
We do.
Any of these fabrics would look stunning on the back of your quilt.
They would. And
So-
it might just be the colour to go, in the room that you've got it planned for, that you just want to tie that in a little bit more. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
they are available by the 1/2 metre as well, so
Just bear in mind that the laburnum, which is quite a dark,
yeah.
sort of charcoaly black with the pink flowers, that is the one that is allocated for the binding. So you would get a strip of that on the back of your fabric as well. Obviously, any of the fabrics within the collection it works with because the dye colours are the same.
Yes.
But if you're thinking of a different fabric, just bear in mind those are the colours that are, you don't have to use it,
If you want to
but the fabric is in there for the binding.
It is. Good point, Jane. Good point. But yes, next week we will have the calendar quilts final block.
Yes, it's our December
Crazy.
Christmas wreath.
It's
Well,
beautiful.
winter wreath we've called it because
Yes.
obviously it's going to be there all of December and it's not necessarily all about Christmas.
Nope.
So
Absolutely. So we'll have that. This evening, don't forget the 1/2 metre Heavens go live at midnight. We'll have Friday Deals with SJ coming out on the newsletter on Friday.
yeah,
And yeah, next week there'll be some shows as well. It's all going on.
all
and we're
going
moving.
on. And we're moving,
Don't
so
mind
it'll
us.
be chaos.
Jane and I are going to go and crack on. We're right up to date with the orders, which we feel quite smug about.
Yes,
There's a few of you just waiting for a couple of products that are...
we're
coming
waiting
in.
for deliveries.
They are, because they sold crazy amounts, so
Yes.
we've got some extra coming in. But yeah, lovely to have you with us. Thank you very much. We will see you very, very soon. Take care. Lots of love. And
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.